Spirit Seers Cocktail Corner. My name is Mike, and today what I'm doing is a little bit of a variation on the martini. Now, if you're one of those gin purists, those martini purists, I'm sorry, my friend Mark, in advance. I'm going to play a little bit, and I'm going to experiment a little bit, and it's going to involve a little bit of a different ingredient than you usually see, and yeah, it's interesting. It's a good change from the usual that you get with a martini, and you know, what's cocktail craft if not a rich playground? So what we're going to do is we're actually going to, let me move some of this out of the way so you can actually see what I'm doing. I'm going to go ahead and crack some ice here into my stir glass, because a martini should always be stirred, not shaken. James Bond is wrong. There we go. We are going to do 2 1/4 ounces of gin, and so let's start with our 2 here. And I'm using the Uma gin from New World Distilling, sorry. You'd think as many bottles of this stuff as I've bought, I would know that better, but I just know it's my favorite ski lift gin. And then we're going to match that with 3/4 ounce of dry vermouth. Quarter ounce. And we're going to finish that off with a 1/4 ounce of Luxardo maraschino liqueur. Now, this adds a little bit of a sweet note, and above that is not just the sweet, but it also adds a really interesting, a little bit of a fruitiness to it. The fruitiness of the maraschino liqueur really kind of shines in this, and it really makes it almost a different cocktail, not really a martini. And this is where this cocktail is actually kind of fun to me, especially with summer. You kind of want the lighter cocktails. You kind of want something that's a little bit sweeter, maybe something that's a little bit lighter as the temperatures warm up. It wasn't all that warm here in Utah today, but it's gonna get warm here soon, hopefully soon. I'm still running my furnace occasionally, but it's a good cocktail. I've really enjoyed it. Now, typically, the martini should be in an up glass. I've been playing with this in a coupe glass just because, simplicity's sake, it's kind of easy, but I'm going to go ahead and throw this into my up glass as well. That will do it. So, on the nose, it's very much a martini. It has the dry vermouth with the gin. This is a very sage-forward gin. It's also a very juniper-forward gin. This is, I've said this many times before, I throw this into a flask and carry it up the ski slope with me, and I sip on it on the ski lift. It is fantastic in that environment. And it plays very well in a martini as well, because you get a lot of that juniper and sage element that really offsets. You kind of want a strong flavor to offset the strong flavor. So the dry vermouth is a very strong, not really a flavor. I guess it's a strong flavor. It's the dryness of the dry vermouth that really is what I'm talking about here. It kind of pushes a flavor profile that, if you're not accustomed to it, is a little bit jarring. A little bit. The dryness, it kind of pulls the moisture off of your tongue a little bit. It adds it lightens the juniper and sage elements of the gin as well, and also pulls it more towards a floral direction, because the dry vermouth is basically just a dry white wine. That's what a vermouth is. It's a wine. So sweet vermouth is a sweet red. This is a dry white. So you end up in that realm of kind of a little bit of like a Chardonnay sort of area with the dry vermouth. but you have a sweetness there that softens a little bit of that harsher alcohol hit that you get with a traditional martini, and it becomes a little bit more approachable if you're not the sort of person who sips gin out of a flask on a ski lift like I do. It's a great cocktail. It's a little bit of fruitiness in there as well from the maraschino liqueur. The maraschino liqueur, I don't know, it's got a little bit of a fruitiness that if you drink it by itself, it doesn't really play, but if you add it into a cocktail, you get a little bit of a stone fruit sort of flavor profile out of it. It's really interesting. I like playing with maraschino liqueur. It's a great additive in cocktails like The Last Word, and the Pegu Club, I believe, also uses that. Probably wrong on that one. I have to look that one up every time I make it. I've made it hundreds of times and I still have to look that one up. Anyways, great cocktail. I really enjoy it. It's a martini with a little bit of a sweet twist to it, and it's fantastic. I really enjoy it. It's a good summer cocktail. It's a good, as stuff is starting to warm up, spring cocktail, because it does have that bracing alcohol hit that warms you up a good bit. And that's what I love about gin. It's a warming spirit that you can just sip on, and it's great in summer in a gin and tonic. It's great in winter in a martini. It's great in summer in a martini. It's great on a ski lift. It's just a great spirit. And I can't talk it up enough. Keep the spirits.